Hello everyone, welcome to another video on this channel. This time it's a review. Today I review this device here, the Mango Power E, which is a powerful solar generator, powerful enough so you can do things like this, or this, or both. So what you just saw in those tests was my water cooker, which draws around 2000 watts, my microwave with another 1000 watts, and both combined drawing 3000 watts of power, which is what the Mango Power E is capable of delivering via its 4 AC outlets. Though this is a pretty hefty power outlet, 3000 watts, it's something I usually don't draw, so this is not a cooking channel where I operate microwaves, water cookers. It's a photography channel, and yeah, we're more interested in what this can do for us as photographers. And this is also what I tested over the last month. So I already have this device for more than 2 months now. So Mango Power reached out to me asking if I wanted to review it. And at first, I didn't really know how I would be able to use such a powerful station. If you remember, I had some other reviews for smaller stations, which I plan to bring on the road, but this year for something like this you need some more use cases. And I'll now go through the specifications first and then talk about the use cases and also about the price. So first I have here my little sheet which tells me all the specs because I don't want to get something wrong. So first of all, we have the capability of delivering 3000 watts of power here. This is the EU version with 4 outlets. The US version also has those 4 outlets plus another outlet which you can use to combine 2 of those together to get you more voltage. Now, what we also have here is a 65 watt USB-C and a 100 watt USB-C. Then we have 2 DC outlets, 12 volt 5 amp, and also a car charger outlet. Then a whopping 6 USB-A outlets. So all the plugs you need. I'll never be able to fill all those plugs. So it's really something, if you put this in your apartment, I guess you can power everything from it. You have just enough outlets. What's important is for a power station, the capacity. This one here has 3500 watt hours. So this is basically, just to put it into dimension, how much I need to power my complete apartment for a day. So not just my office, everything here, including the kitchen. That's how much power I use throughout the day, and that's how much this one here can deliver. Now let's also talk about the price. So currently when I'm filming this video, it's available for $3,200 for the US market, and they have constant rebates. So I think the typical price would be more than 4,000, but since I got this and I always looked up the price, it was always sitting around 3,000. So you usually get a discount, and then you pay less than $1 per kilowatt per watt hour. So yeah, it's not cheap, but also it's high quality and it's comparable to other stations, even cheaper than some of the others if you have the discounts active. Talking about build quality, so this is all plastic. It's lightweight plastic, but it still feels well built. They use those materials to keep the weight a bit lower because the batteries here, and this whole station, it weighs more than 40 kilograms, which make it a little less portable than some of the other stations, the smaller ones. But for a 3.5 kilowatt hour battery, I think it's still pretty lightweight, if you can say so. So I can just barely lift it, which is why to move it around, they have a little handle here at the back, and they also have wheels at the side, so you can roll it around, same as you would roll around a suitcase at the airport. This is pretty helpful. Now let's see what else I want to talk about. Yes, most important thing maybe for this here is the used battery components. Those are CATL batteries, CATL batteries, and those are lithium iron phosphate batteries of very high quality. They are used in modern electric cars, and they're designed to be high security, and also they withstand many recharge cycles. And Mango Power states that you can recharge it, so full cycles, 6,000 times, and you still get around 70% of the original capacity, which is much more than the typical lithium iron phosphate batteries that are around. So I think that's the biggest selling point here when we talk about the quality. The batteries are just, I think, the best you can get on the market. Then also here you have a little touch screen which gives you some indication about what's the current loading status. You can switch on the AC or the DC output. When you switch on the AC and put load on it, the inverter is active and it's a powerful inverter, which means it needs to be cooled as well as the batteries. So what I found is that even if you just use it to power maybe 100 watts of devices, which is what I have in my office, the fan will become active every few minutes. And it's a big fan. You will notice it. It's like from a little fridge. If the compressor becomes active, this can be a bit annoying. So I decided to not place it in my small office. I have it usually sitting in another room. So this is something to be aware of. In a small room, you will hear the fans. Although they are still comparably silent, I'd say, for a power station of that size, they're noticeable. And it can be annoying if it kicks on every few minutes when you're doing something, for example, recording a video. So be aware of that. You might want to put it in another room. Also, you wouldn't want to put it if you have an RV close to the part where you're sleeping. So you would have to put it into the other end of your RV if it's a big one. So what I also want to talk about here is very important. That's not just a power station, it also has solar input. And what you can supply here as input is up to 2000 watts of solar, which is great because with 2000 watts of solar, this is plenty for powering my whole apartment just through the sun. So this makes this power station much more versatile. It's not just a backup system, which it can also do. So you can operate it in backup mode. There's a switch where you basically put it between the grid and your devices, have it always active. And if the grid is available, it will just pass the current through to your devices. And if the grid goes out, maybe you have a power outage, and if you experience many of those in your area, then such a device can really help you because it will quickly switch in around 20 milliseconds over to battery input, and you wouldn't even notice that the grid's out. So that's what it's designed for. But this use alone, I think it's not for me enough to buy such a station, which is why I think turning it into a solar generator is some very enticing option, especially with the big input that's possible. What I got and what I'll show you in a second are two Power or Mango Power Move panels, so two 200 watt panels, which you can put in series, giving you 400 watts of input. And those 400 watts, I use it now for 2 months. So I always set those up out there in the garden, and through March and April, where I didn't have so much sun yet, maybe around 6 hours of sun, clouds, a mix, sometimes also rain, I was able to power my office, which requires around 800 watt hours to 1 kilowatt hour per day. So for something like this, 400 watts of solar can be sufficient. If you need more, you should consider either getting the 400 watt panels from Mango Power, or what you can also do, you don't even need the panels from Mango Power. You can just, if you already have solar panels, plug those in. You just need to keep the voltage between 60 and 150 watts. I think that's what it says here. So if you do this, you can use the standardized MC4 connectors to connect any solar input and get up to 2000 watts of power, which is pretty great. So now I want to talk a bit about the test I did. So the first test you saw, just maxing out the power, microwave plus a water heater, 3000 watts. Check, this works without problems. But I was more interested in a long test. So for the last 2 months, I had this station here sitting in my kitchen, then I had the Solar Move 400 watt outside, and I bought a long MC4 extension cable to always have this powered by solar, and then I have a cable running to my office, and I had this now, as I said, for 2 months powering my office. So if there's a cloudy or rainy day, you won't get much solar from those panels. So I'd say of the 400 watt on a very cloudy day, you get maybe 10%, so 40 to 50 watts. And of those, you also need to subtract the power that the Mango Power uses just to operate. So this is something which is very important. If you just switch it on and have it running, even without the fan yet becoming active, without the AC active, you're already drawing around 30 watts. That's what I'm seeing, because there's a Wi-Fi module which this station needs to stay connected, and we talk about this in a second when I show you the app. And yeah, I had it running, so it means like for the 800 watts I need throughout the day, I need to generate maybe 1200 roughly watts of solar throughout the day. It means I get an efficiency at this low wattage of around 68%, which sounds a bit low, but you have to consider there's a 3000 watt converter in the station, and yeah, I'm drawing just less than 100 watts. And if you do this, all the other components, the fan, the Wi-Fi, and the inverter itself, even if they just draw like 20-30 watts continuously, then yeah, this reduces your efficiency a lot. As you go to a higher wattage, so if, for example, you have a studio which draws more like 300, 400, if you have a big workstation or big servers, then the efficiency will also go up. So this is typical with all inverters. You have usually an efficiency curve which rises until like 60-70% of the full power that the inverter can output. And yeah, I won't reach it. Only if I would operate my water heater all the time, and this was what I had this for, then I get a good efficiency. But that's not the typical use case, and this is also something when you buy a power station which can be misleading when they always talk about the 80 to 90% efficiency, especially for the big ones. Do you really draw like 2000 watts of power continuously throughout the day? Then first of all, the capacity wouldn't last you very long, and yeah, second of all, you'd have quite a high power demand. Yeah, so that's why when buying a power station, you should first check how high is your power demand, and then take this into account also by figuring out what inverter size you need. But the good thing is, yeah, you're flexible with this one. So you can, if you want, if you take this on the road, for example, in an RV, yeah, you can power microwave, water heater, everything. So you're really safe with that. But a much better use case, I'd say, if we're talking about photographers, would be if you run big productions. So for example, if you're out there setting up multiple lights, if you have some workstation where you have maybe even an external monitor which you need to review or show the photos directly on set, if you have a charging station, all that stuff, yeah, typically you would have a fuel-powered generator, and those are loud and not very nice on such a set. Then such a power station can be a very nice alternative. You can even extend it, so there's the possibility to extend it with another battery on top, and let me check, you can get it up to 7000 watt hours. So with that, I think all your power needs would be satisfied. So that's a pretty good use case, I'd say. So if you can use it, for example, as a backup when you're traveling, so for example, you have servers which you need to ensure stay online, yes, you can use it as a backup. You can even have solar as input, plus also connected it to the grid. So you have both options. The solar helps you keep your bill low, because otherwise you will have the little loss which you get from just operating the station. So you put in the solar to just equalize this part, and then you have connected the station to the grid. If the grid goes out, the batteries and the solar will just seamlessly take over. Now then, when you're at home in the office, you just use it as a solar generator with the solar, and run your studio and your office from solar. And if you go outside, if you travel with an RV or something, or you run big productions, then you just bring it along and power everything you need for even multiple days, so depending on your needs. Okay, so that's it, going through the specs and also through some use cases. What I want to now finally show you is the solar panels and how they connect, because I find those very good, and I've set them up maybe 50 times over the last 2 months, so nearly every day. So yeah, they work very well, and I just want to show you the setup. So well, that's typical. I'm making a video about a solar generator and solar panels, and it's raining, but well, I still want to show it to you. Also, it's good to set those up now in the rain. They are water resistant, so IP67 rated, and they're quite dirty from the last days. So yeah, I just use this now to clean them. But yeah, those are the Mango Move 200 panels. You see, if you open them completely, they have maybe 2 meters in length, but you can basically get them folded to the size of one of those squares here. So they are pretty compact. They weigh around 10 kilos per panel, and they also come with nice bags, so you can store them away. What I have to do here, so each panel is 36 volts. You have to put them in series to get over the 60 volts, which is required to charge the Mango Power. So each of those panels has maybe a bit more than half a meter of cable here. So you can use it to put them in series. And then the other cables, typically the Mango Power comes with an adapter, an MC4 adapter cable, which is less than 2 meters long. I have some extension cables in here, which are 20 meters. So I run those into the kitchen where I have the Mango Power. So I got those 20 meters, 2 cables for 50 bucks. So this gives you an idea how much you have to spend. Also, I find those here to connect those two together too short, because you have to put them pretty close toward each other. Also, you can just stack them. Yeah, you can't put them next to each other with those short cables, which is why I also got another extension cable of 3 meters. So this is something Mango Power should consider, make those a bit longer, because otherwise you get the shade from this one on this one if you have the sun low in the sky, which is not pretty good. But otherwise, the build quality, I really like it. Also here, those handles, when you snap them in, they have magnets. So yeah, setting it up and putting it back into the little bags that come with it is pretty quick. And yeah, I'll now let those get rained on a bit more. Then I wipe those and then I put them away again, because such a day, yeah, I get maybe 40 watts, maybe less even now that it's raining. So not made for such a day, as it's a solar panel and not a cloud panel. Okay, so I now go in. I want to also show you now the app. And then what I forgot to say, so solar input 2000 watts. Forgot to mention, you surely can also charge it with AC with up to 3000 watts. So you can charge the whole 3.5 watt hours, yeah, in like 1.5 hours. So that's pretty fast, and something I forgot to mention. But now let's get inside where it's warm and I talk about the app. So finally, I also want to talk about the app. As most modern power stations, you can also control the Mango Power E via a mobile app. I have installed it here on my Android phone. So the setup is not so nice. So first of all, you need an account. So you install it, you create an account, then you connect to the station via Bluetooth, and then you have to pass your Wi-Fi settings to the station. Here, I'd like to have some kind of a drop-down menu where it's just select the Wi-Fi network and then pass it to the station. But yeah, you have to manually insert the name, which yeah, is a little bit cumbersome. So this here needs to be improved. Also, you can't directly communicate via Bluetooth. So controlling, like for example, switching on the AC or DC via Bluetooth alone, it doesn't work. For example, if I deactivate Wi-Fi and internet for my cell phone, I can no longer control the power station. It just says network error and I can't find the station. So you really always need to have your cell phone connected and also the Mango Power connected to the internet, to the Mango Power servers. And the communication then also works via those servers, it seems, because if I activate AC output, it takes a little bit of time until it's also becoming active here. So there's usually a delay. It would be much better to be able to have those settings to directly communicate via the Bluetooth. And then if you need the Wi-Fi, this should be used for some features like statistics or other stuff. So it would be really nice if Mango Power also provided some kind of a portal, because if you have all this communication going on between Mango Power and the servers, then all this information about how much load you have, how much solar input you get throughout the day, this information could be harvested and then made available to the users via some portal or even the app. I'd love to see how much solar I generate throughout the day, or for example, how it compares to the amount of power I draw from the station. Something like this, I think, is a low-hanging fruit, since you already have this connection to the servers. Why not also provide something like this? So I really hope Mango Power considers this for the future and also make the setup experience a little more seamless, as well as allowing just a Bluetooth connection for the communication between the devices. Yeah, that's the app. So I showed a few screenshots now while talking. So it looks modern, it looks good, it also works, but yeah, there are a few usability things. Also, if you do a firmware update, basically select it via the app and it then gets pushed to the Mango Power from the servers, but you don't really get a feedback when it's done. So at some point you just see, okay, the new version is on, but here I don't see that there's a firmware update running. So at least I didn't see it when I did it. Yeah, so that's it for this review. We've gone through, I hope, most of the important features. I've also shown you the application. And yeah, the use cases are important, I think. If you just want a backup device because you have many power outages in your area, then yeah, this might be it. But if you don't have many power outages, then this is pretty pricey. So you need a few more use cases. And I think solar generator, that's a good use case, as well as also if you run big productions, photo productions where you need a mobile studio, so to say, then something like this can be a great help. Okay, that's it for the video. I hope you liked it. If so, leave a thumbs up and yeah, subscribe for more. See you in the next video. Bye.